Greetings to our current sophomores who are our rising juniors, the class of 2023. This is a video on how you're going to begin the registration process for your junior year classes. So I hope that it's helpful to you. We're going to actually walk through how to complete a Google form that is going to be step one of your registration process. Okay, first of all, if you're a hybrid student, then hopefully you have received a copy of the registration guide. If you are a 100% online student and you would like to receive a copy, please come by the school counseling office to pick one up. Make sure that you wear a face covering, but please feel welcome to come by to pick up your registration guide. If you're not comfortable coming by or you're not able to, please know that we have it posted online as well. So if you go to the Salem High School webpage, the very first page that pops up, the home page, if you click right here, the registration guide is listed. So all the meat of the registration guide is on here. Lots of valuable information. So it's going to give you a course description of every course. It's going to tell you whether or not it's a semester course by indicating that it's a 0.5. If it's a year-long course, it's going to be a 1. If there is a course that you have to have first, a prereq, it's going to say that. Some courses you have to have had another course first before you can take that class. And again, a great description. So everything is in here. The only thing you don't have is this really, really cool cover and back cover to the registration guide. But otherwise, all the content is on the website. If you don't feel comfortable coming to pick up a booklet, you can see it online. Or if you lose your booklet, it's also there for you as well. Okay, so what is going to happen is you're going to receive a school messenger through your email. And through that school messenger, you're going to have a link to a Google form for registration. So please do not delete this email. It is very important that you don't delete the email. Everyone is going to be able to complete this form one time, and you need to do it by February 15th. Now, after February 15th, the Google form will close. You won't be able to access it anymore. But please know there's going to be several stops in place in which your school counselors are going to be making sure that you've signed up for the right classes, the appropriate number of classes. We're going to send home a printout of what you've signed up for through the mail, and then you're going to be given ample time to inform us through email of any changes that you want to make. In fact, you're going to have until June 25th to inform us of any changes. However, this Google form that you're going to receive in your email needs to be completed by February 15th. This is the first step of the registration process. So when you get it and you open it, please review this very important information with your parents. It's important that your parents are a part of these decisions with you. Also, make sure that you're prepared before you fill it out, since you can only submit it one time. You may want to turn to page 33 of the registration guide or go to that page on the online website and look at it, because there's a worksheet on filling it out ahead of time so that you know what to sign up for when it's time to sign up. Also, another page I'm going to point out to you is page 42. This is a list of all the electives that we offer on page 42. And then as you get up in the upper grades of high school, there's more and more choices. And so what you can take in core areas depends on the courses that you're in this year. So on page 40 and 41, is actually a sequence of courses. So if you have a question on what math you can take next year, you can look based on the math that you're in this year on page 40 and 41, what are your math choices for next year? Now I'm going to tell you that it's very important that you communicate with your teachers. If you're hybrid, do it in person. If you're online, email your teachers. Make sure you know what they recommend for you for next year, because we want to place you in the courses that are best for you. Okay, so when you start your Google form, you're going to input your basic demographic information, which I've already done, except I made up a fake student number. That's not really anybody's number. And then I'm going to click next. And that's going to bring me to diploma type. So just to review, there's two different diplomas, a standard diploma and advanced studies diploma. and we list the criteria for both. So as of right now, I need to indicate which diploma am I working towards. So I'm going to indicate that I'm working towards an advanced studies diploma. That brings me to English. And so for English, there's 3 different levels. Now, 2 of the levels, College Prep and IB English 1, require summer reading assignments. So please make sure that if you're recommended for those courses, you need to have an honest thought process with yourself on whether or not you're going to complete the summer work that is required. Okay, so you're going to choose your English for next year. Make sure again that you're communicating with your current English teacher, and then you're going to click next. Now with history, most students going into the 11th grade are going to take U.S. Virginia history. The exception typically comes into play if you started AP history in either the 9th or the 10th grade. So if in doubt, talk to your social studies teacher, talk to your counselor. Most are going to take U.S. Virginia history unless you've already taken it, because this is a graduation requirement in the state of Virginia. Okay, that brings us to science. Lots of choices in science. Now, everyone needs to take biology at some point in high school, okay? So most of you are going to probably be registered in biology as 10th graders. The exception is usually if you did a more rigorous route of science, if maybe science is an area of interest to you and you already took chemistry pre-IB and you're in physics pre-IB, or maybe you did earth science and then chemistry pre-IB. If so, and you didn't take biology this year, you're probably heading towards IB Bio 1. However, if you feel like maybe the science has gotten a little too hard, you can do general biology, but it is important that you take biology. So talk to your science teacher, your current science teacher, to see what is recommended for you. Many of our students take chemistry, physical science 2, IB Bio 1, I mean, all of these. So make sure that you know what is the right science for your sequence. And again, refer to page 40 and 41 in the registration guide. Okay, math. There are so many different choices for math. So let's say I started algebra as a freshman and I'm doing AFTA now as a 10th grader, then I'm going to be in geometry next year. But again, lots of different math options. So make sure that you're communicating with your math teacher to know what is the appropriate next level for you. Most students at this point have completed the health and PE requirements. You need 2 health classes and 2 PE classes in the state of Virginia to graduate. If you have any doubt, talk to your counselor. We can tell you if you've met those criteria, if you've passed those classes and have that taken care of. And if so, you click no health or PE. So that's what most of our rising 11th graders are going to be choosing. Now, world language. If you're on a standard diploma, you do not have to have world language for a standard diploma. So you would click no world language. For an advanced studies diploma, you need to have 3 years of one language or 2 years of one language and 2 years of another. Now, let's say that I started my world language as a 9th grader. So maybe I did Spanish 1 and now I'm in Spanish 2. And I'm in Spanish 2 and it's going okay and I'm going to pass it, but maybe I don't feel like Spanish 3 is a good idea for me. So the good thing is I have time to do the 2+2 route. So I could switch to a different world language and do 2 years of that world language and still meet the advanced studies diploma. So if you're in the 2nd year of any of these languages, and if you feel like you're, not wanting to go to the 3rd year, but you still want to do the advanced studies diploma, know that you can do the 2+2 option. So let's say I'm in Spanish 2. I'm not wanting to move to Spanish 3, but I want to stay advanced studies. So I'm either going to pick Chinese 1, French 1, or German 1. I think I'm going to go with Chinese 1. Now, if you'll remember, when you pick the first year of a language, there's always the chance that that first year is not going to fit. So just be careful about that. And keep that in mind that you may end up with a second choice world language. Okay, If you receive some support through an IEP for a resource, this is where you're going to indicate it. Or if you receive an EL resource currently, this is where you're going to indicate it. And if not, you click No Student Support and it takes you to the next screen. Okay, so the electives. Now remember, we're on a 7-period school day. So that means that for most of you, you're going to take 7 credits. Now the exception are our color guard and marching band students. You're going to take 7.5 credits because marching band is after school. So make sure, and that's another reason to do the worksheet on page 33 ahead of time, that you're not signing yourself up for a 10-period school day, okay? Because you don't want to be here till 6 o'clock every night. So make sure that you're signing up for the appropriate number of classes. So if I'm doing my 4 core areas, social studies, science, math, and English, and doing a world language, that's 5 already, okay? Now, if I'm a rising junior and I haven't had personal finance and econ, remember that's a graduation requirement and we don't like students to wait till their senior year to take that. So you're probably going to want to go ahead and take personal finance and econ if you haven't already been successful in that course. Okay. I think that I'm going to go with personal finance and econ because I haven't taken those yet and I need that to graduate. And I think I'm going to be a band student. And so I'm going to sign up for band and marching band. So that's going to give me a full day. So for everything else, and it's very tempting because there's so many great options. And as you see, there's lots of hard decisions to make. For each area, you do have to indicate that you're not interested. That's not your elective of interest if you're not picking something. So here is the business electives. That's where you're going to find that graduation requirement, econ and personal finance. Now, some of you took it in 9th grade or you're taking it right now. But if not, you really need to consider taking it in the 11th grade. Again, we don't like to put that graduation requirement off until your senior year. All right, so now I'm up to 6 classes, 6 credits. So I'm just going to go through here because I'm looking for where I'm going to find band. And that's going to be under performing arts. Okay, so there are a lot of bands and choirs at Salem High School. And some of them are audition groups. If I'm already in an audition choir or band, then you can go ahead and select that again for next year, even if you're going to try out for something else. If you are just wanting to start choir, start with concert choir. If you audition for something in the spring, or if you're in concert band right now, go ahead and pick concert band. If you audition for symphonic or jazz and are selected for those bands, we're going to go back and make those changes for you. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm in concert band, but I want to audition for symphonic band. So I'm going to go ahead and say concert band. And then if I end up getting selected for a symphonic band after auditioning, then my counselor will make that change for me. I'm also going to do marching band. So that's going to give me a full day plus my marching band after school. So I need to go through and select the rest of these because now I have a full day registered. And click next. And I promise you, we are almost done. Now, this is where it's a little bit more work because you can't just click. You have to actually type in your answer. So sometimes your electives don't work out with other courses that you've signed up for. So let's say that my Chinese 1 doesn't work out. So maybe I want to put German 1 as my alternate. Okay, and let's say maybe personal finance and econ isn't going to work till my senior year. I hope it does, but if not, what else might I be interested in taking? So I'm going to turn to page 42. I'm going to look at the list. I'm going to cross-reference it with the descriptions, and let's see. Oh, marketing full year. That sounds interesting. And then let's see what else I like. Oh, maybe something under social studies like psychology. Okay, so you got to put in 3 in order to move on to the next screen. Okay, so I'm going to move on to next. And then you're going to indicate whether or not you're interested in the online academy. And if there's any special notes that we need, and you do not have to type anything here, but there is an opportunity if you want to, whether or not you need to speak to one of us, but please know that we are going behind and checking and making sure that you've signed up for the right classes, and we'll be sending it home through the mail, and you're going to have the opportunity to inform us if you need to change something. And I've been a junior at Salem High School back in the 1980s, so I'm not going to hit submit. I had a great experience at Salem High School, and I hope that you have a great junior year as well. I hope that this video was helpful, and know that your school counselors are here to help you. So if there's anything that we can do, let us know. Remember, complete the Google form by February 15th. Thank you, and forever Spartans.